What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you another viewer-submitted World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This time it is another match from Randenburg, and it is really the first high-tier match you guys have sent in. Well, high-tier-ish. You guys have sent in tier 8 matches in the past, but I think this is the first tier 10 replay I've ever gotten from you guys. Now, I've done my own in the past. But anyway, he is playing the T110E3, a tank I do not have. I have the T110E4, the E3 having very heavy frontal armor, at least that's what I gather from the stats, and having a very big gun. Now, the teams are fairly even when you take into consideration tiers. It's a pretty even match. The enemy team having a slight advantage in terms of one more tier 9, but it's nothing too significant, nothing that Randenburg's team can't come back from. In artillery, the enemy team, again, having a slight advantage, but again, like I said, the teams are more or less even. Now, this is a standard battle on Wide Park, because Wide Park has no other type of match available. Ooh, hitting that E100 for a good 900-something damage. That is a poor way for that E100 to start off the match. Randenburg bouncing a shot, because that's what the T110E3 does. Functions very similarly to the T95, from what I gather. Now, I'm speaking from experience fighting it, from people telling me about it, but if you disagree, feel free to let me know in the comments. But the T110E3 and the T95 are very similar in their playstyle. Definitely, well, which makes sense why the E3 is after the T95. The enemy team kind of sitting back here. Ooh, counter artillery going into effect, killing that M41, who apparently wasn't moving like he should have been. The GW Panther also haven't gotten killed, but the enemy team losing their M50. I'm sorry, E50. There we go. Apparently I got my letters mixed up. But we have a T62 Alpha right there. The enemy team, like I said, really playing cautiously, really sitting back. Randenburg's team really having the opportunity to move up, especially along the 0 line. They have gotten quite up there, which would make me think the enemy artillery is starting to get a little uncomfortable, especially since they apparently don't have that much cover. GW Panther apparently in the town. Not sure why he's there, but pinging him won't really do any good at all. And Randenburg's artillery chances are pretty good. He won't be able to shoot them. They won't be able to shoot it. And Randenburg trying to get a shot on him, but hitting nothing but the pillar of that ramp. The GW Panther apparently going to try and kill, or well, not kill, but hurt Randenburg. Sitting there and going to sit there until he dies. I guess the GW Panther did not realize he was spotted. Or maybe he was just that unaware of how quickly the T110E3 loads. It does load faster than the T95, for those of you who are wondering. The enemy team and Randenburg's team pretty even on losses at this point, although I would say Randenburg's team has a slight advantage in what they've lost, in terms of the enemy team actually having lost a bit more heavier things. Randenburg pushing up, trying to take on this Yog-E. I'm going to just call it the Yog Echo from now on. And the E100 still doing, rather well for himself, not taking any more damage since Randenburg initially shot him. And moving up now, this T54 potentially going to have a very bad day here in a second, but Randenburg has no shot at all. This this AMX 1390 potentially might decide to come over. No, like I said, the enemy team playing very cautiously. Oh, that T54 getting hit for the low end of Randenburg's damage, but that is still over 700 points of damage. You know, that wasn't as low as he could have hit, but still, it wasn't his. It was lower than his average. Anyway, pushing up, playing a bit more aggressive, especially since his team is now ahead. The enemy team definitely in a poor position. They've got to work hard to come back here. And Randenburg getting shot in the side. 1390 kind of playing a bit of a troublesome, a thorn in Randenburg's side here. Definitely got to pull back and make sure not to get himself hurt unnecessarily, because you never know when you'll need those hit points. So the E100 deciding to move over again. If Randenburg was still in his spot, providing watch through that bridge, he would have been able to get another shot. But at the same time, I feel like he was making quite a reasonable decision to move up. This E100 is now fully distracted. He does have a long reload, just as long as Randenburg's, if I'm not mistaken. Randenburg has to pull up here or pull back like he just did. Yes, aim to the side, and there we go. The E100 almost dead now. This 1390 possibly trying to do something to help the Yogg the Yogg Echo moving up. So you've got two big guns on that other side capable of potentially, not definitely, but having the chance to kill Randenburg in no more than just 2 shots. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the T110E3 does have a weakness of having a soft underbelly, the same weakness that all the T110s share. But I am not 100% certain on that. As I've said, I haven't really fought them that much, but that is where I aim when I'm fighting them, and I usually get through with tier 10 guns, with high penetration guns. So, this E100, very close to death, hanging on by the skin of his teeth. Randenburg doing a good job of holding the enemy team here. This 1390 potentially going to get himself killed. It looks like the E100 and the 1390 trying to coordinate a push almost. Or, you know, if they actually had some teamwork, they might have coordinated a push where Randenburg basically would have shot and killed one of them, but the other one would have been able to get off a shot without taking any damage and survive. But really, Randenburg is still at 100% health. That would have really done nothing more than give him a repair build. There's 1390 falling back to his base because Randenburg's team is capturing. So, wise decision by that 1390. This T-34 on the enemy team having 3 kills. Wow. Apparently, Nolsi, I guess that's how you say his name, doing very well for himself. Doing better than actually the 1390, the E100. The E100, pretty much everything left on his team, doing actually the best of his team in general, dead or alive. This E100 apparently thinking pushing forward was going to save him, but there was a T-34 ready and waiting. This E100 on the enemy team, this Yogg this Yogg Echo, very much alive, but at the same time, you know, he has a long reload, but he can kill either that Bat-Chat or that AMX 5120 in 1 shot. And there we go, the Bat-Chat dying to that Yogg. So let's see if Randenburg can't avenge him and basically win this for him. Now, I'm not quite sure. I was so busy paying attention to what was happening on Randenburg's side of the map. I am not exactly sure what happened on that zero line push, you know, that eastern push. As far as I was concerned, I thought his team would have had it, but apparently they ended up getting themselves severely decimated over there. Not quite sure why, but that push was pretty much stopped in its tracks. It looks like the enemy team did have some powerful stuff over there, an IS-4, a 4502 Papa, and a Tiger 2, you know, heavy hitting tanks over there. So I guess that is really what it came down to, is they just got stopped in their tracks by heavy resistance. And like I said, the enemy team was playing very cautiously, and the advantage is always inherently going to the defender. So, ooh, the Yogg getting hit for a significant amount now, very much almost near death, ooh, and bouncing a shot off of the almost near impenetrable armor of the T110E3. Randenburg will get the final kill here, reloading much faster than that Yogg Echo, and the AMX 1390, the second to last remaining tank, and Randenburg, wow, is the last remaining tank on his team. Going on the capture point, which I do agree with, force the enemy team to come to you. Make them play your game. You definitely want to be in control of the circumstances on which you engage the enemy, and sometimes one of the best ways to do that is to get on the capture point. Now, the enemy team apparently deciding to go for the capture, and ooh, right here, he's got this T-34 on his flank. If that T-34 hits him, and he does, the cap is now reset. He now killed that T-34, and his only hope of winning this match for his team now is to go back to base. RTB, return to base, kill that enemy 1390, and win it for his team. There is enough time. He has approximately 60 seconds at this point, a little less if he doesn't want to cut it down to the last remaining second. And really, he's got to book it. And for a T110E3, that's more possible than for a T95. The T110E3 having a top speed of 26 kilometers per hour, the T95 only having a top speed, if I recall quickly, of 12. So, you know, it's faster, it has a better acceleration, but it's still pretty slow. 26 kilometers per hour is probably the slowest of all the tier 10 tanks, in that, at least that I'm aware of. The IS-7 definitely having a good top speed and so on. None of the American tanks being that slow, none of the Russian tanks. So he's really doing his best to get back to base. But will he make it? He's got a clear line of sight on it, but really, I'm not sure he's going to make it. The enemy 1390 apparently being completely hidden. There he is, hiding behind the bush like a very smart tank. And ooh, Randenberg taking that final shot. Wow, he literally had just seconds remaining before his team lost. So very well played. Didn't even aim, so a little bit of luck coming into that. But you know what? There was definitely some skill involved. I am surprised he made it back in time, getting 4 kills, the Yogg-E, the GW Panther, T-34, and 1390, and he essentially killed that E100. I mean, let's face it, he hit that E100 2 or 3 times? No, only twice, if I'm recalling correctly. But still, that is over, that's approximately over half that E100's health. So, doing very well for himself. Decent amount of experience, if I had to guess, and I'm fairly confident when I'm say this, he is not running premium. Base defense 99%, literally 1 second away from a base capture loss. And, you know, I've actually never really seen it before where you kill that enemy tank after he gets a 100% capture. I can't say I've ever seen that happen where it's reached 100% and you kill it and the entire enemy team is dead, but I'm assuming the win goes to the team that captured. Ooh, excuse me. But still, very close. He obviously got Defender. Wow. He would have gotten Invader if that 1390 hadn't, if that T-34 had not interfered. He would have gotten Invader, or this match would have drawn. I'm not really sure which would have happened because I cannot recall the point the point difference between the two teams when he was capturing. But still, very close match. I can see what he meant now when he said this was a very exciting match for him. The last seconds, that total upset, and wow, I am just blown away. So very well played, Randenberg. And that's really all I have left to say. So if you liked this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And as always, if you got a replay, send it to spanglereplays@gmail.com. Email is in the description. And this has been Spang, and I'm signing off.